This is looking bad.
Something is not right.
It's a cover-up.
Make the artist stop.
It's not going the way I thought it was going to go.
Tittiesntoos.
Right, welcome to Titties and Twos. Today we are going to be looking at cover-ups and why they are necessary at times. Definitely necessary.
Yeah, what to keep in mind.
Yes.
Yes, see. I think, the reason why I wanted to talk about it is that I do a lot of cover-ups. Like 2 to 3 tattoos, cover-ups a week. And I would love to hear from other artists.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's hectic.
I know, it's crazy. But yeah, I would love to hear from other artists if they also do so many cover-ups. Because, at some point I just realized, this is not, I don't know if it's normal to do so many cover-ups. But anyway, and then with that, obviously I see a lot of clients don't necessarily understand what to look for,
Yes.
or what to keep in mind when getting a cover-up. And the first thing, I think the most important thing is it needs to be darker and it needs to be bigger than the original tattoo.
Yeah.
So I've had clients also that show me this very beautiful, very light tattoo that they want to cover the old, very dark tattoo.
Yeah.
And then I have to explain to them, you can't put a light thing over a dark thing. Whatever you put over that tattoo needs to cover that tattoo. So you need to find the dark area in the new tattoo to cover the whole of the old tattoo.
Yeah.
That's where the darkness is important. You need something that's solid black to cover that old tattoo.
I love darkness. It makes me happy.
Yeah, and a lot of people are scared of that dark or a dark tattoo. I don't necessarily know why. But it is difficult especially if the original tattoo that you need to cover is a very dark, solid thing. Because then you have to go, and then you have to go even bigger and even darker.
Yeah.
So, and obviously initially that client didn't want that. They didn't want a bigger and darker tattoo, but at the end of the day, it's a cover-up, so you need to go bigger and darker, unfortunately. And I've also realized a lot of people, they come to me with very specific requests as to what they want the cover-up to be of, the subject matter.
Yeah.
And then I just tell them, listen, what you want is not going to work for a cover-up. We're going to have to find something else that works. And then I feel like I need to, people just need to understand that you're not necessarily going to end up with a tattoo that you wanted initially. You're going to have to almost settle for something that works for a cover-up.
Yeah.
And it's not a nice thing to hear, but if you want that old tattoo covered, that's what you're going to have to do.
Yeah, but I think it also comes to play with the fact of when you initially went for your tattoo. I know we were talking about that earlier, about, people being able to voice while they're getting their tattoo.
Yeah.
If you are sitting there, again, if you can't see it on your back, obviously you're only seeing it at the end. But if it's something that you can see while you are there, and you already see, this is not exactly what...
It's not going well.
Yeah, it isn't what I saw and what we discussed. Yeah. And, don't have that thought of, it will get better.
Yeah. Or it will feel better. Or whatever.
At that point, when you see it, make the artist stop.
Yeah.
Because something is not right.
Yeah.
Whether it is that the artist don't know how to do what it is that you requested, whether it is that the artist is maybe tired or not in the right frame to do it. There's various reasons of what could be.
Yeah.
But, right at that point in time, everybody's got intuition.
Yeah.
The moment that little scratchy in you starts, stop.
If there's any discomfort, if there's any doubt in your mind, rather listen to that.
Stop. Maybe ask the artist, that they explain to you. There's nothing wrong with telling them, listen, I'm not seeing where you're going with this. This is not looking the way that we discussed or what I saw. Maybe just clarify for me that I can have some peace of mind. Or completely just stop.
Yeah. I think the thing we discussed earlier was a client that came in, so for a cover-up, obviously, and he ended up with a very dark thing on his chest that was supposed to represent water, and it didn't. But he said, and I've just, my heart sort of sank for him. He said the moment when he arrived for that appointment, the artist already said, I'm so tired because I didn't sleep last night. I was doing this and that and that. And then he already felt uncomfortable because the artist already said, I'm too tired.
Yeah.
But then say something. My question is, why don't clients speak up and say, like, listen, what you just said made me feel uncomfortable, made me doubt your skill for this moment, for this tattoo. I don't know if it's maybe just all of us being a bit people pleasy, where we don't want to be the poople, we want to be a good client. But at the end of the day, it's a tattoo.
And it's your body.
Yeah, and it's permanent. And to cover something like that up it's going to be more expensive, it's going to take more time, it's going to be more sore, might not be successful. A cover-up is definitely a very difficult thing to pull off. So if there's anything in your mind that makes you think like, shit, this tattoo is it's not going the way I thought it was going to go, stop. Tell them, stop, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
I remember one client also did a cover-up of, and she said in the middle of the tattoo, she could see the lines were like blown out and that he was just not doing like neat line work. But she still laid there for the whole tattoo.
Wow.
So in my mind, I'm like, but why didn't you get up? Why didn't you just say like, shit, this is looking bad? It's easier to cover up half a tattoo than to cover up a whole fucked up tattoo.
Yes.
So, I think people should be more entitled about their tattooing. Like if you're waiting for your appointment, you're paying for your appointment, you have the right to say like, listen, this is not what I wanted, or I'm feeling uncomfortable, or doubting this or that. Yeah, do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, let's just take a restaurant. You go to a restaurant, you order something, and then it arrives. Like, I know I'm the type of person that looks at it, and if it's any point in time that I'm not okay with it, I'm not going to shout at anybody. I'm just going to say, hey, listen, this is not cooked properly. Please, can you just have a look at this? Or I didn't ask for this, or whatever. But then there's other people that'll be like, no, it's okay. It's okay. We'll just eat it.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
You are going, it's not like you go out now and pay like $100 at a restaurant for something. Let's be real here. When you go out, most probably between 350 to 500 rand. That's a lot for you just to eat, and it goes out of the system.
Yeah.
Okay. So how much more for something that's going to stay there permanently?
Yeah, exactly.
Why are we sitting there and just going and saying, okay, well,
yeah,
I'm sure that line will go straight somewhere.
Yeah.
No, say something,
Yeah.
If you see it and you see something is wrong, you know what you wanted and you know what you discussed. I hope you had the discussion.
Yeah.
But the whole point is, if you feel uncomfortable, speak up, because the artist can either then reassure you or they're going to be like blah, 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 blah. And then, listen,
Yeah.
this is not
you don't have to be rude about it. You can be very kind still. You don't have to be a bad client and start shouting and being an asshole about it. You can just politely say, like, listen, this is not working for me.
Yeah.
Or I'll come back on another day or whatever.
And you don't want to walk out of there looking at your tattoo and saying, this is not what I wanted.
Yeah.
Because that ultimately defeats the purpose of why you went.
Yeah.
The idea of getting something is because of what you want. Now, with a cover-up, as you're saying, you have to go darker, you have to go bigger. So
spend more money, more time on it. Yeah.
And now you're going to get something that wasn't initially your thoughts of getting, wasn't initially maybe on the position of where you got it. And now it needs to stretch over some other space where you might have wanted something else.
Yeah.
Just because you didn't speak up. And this is not a blame game.
Yeah.
Like, not at all. It's about being able to make an informed decision.
Yeah.
If you did your part as the client, if the tattoo artist did their part as the artist, then there shouldn't be this point where you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. And I think that's the point of this whole podcast, is to inform the clients better so that they can make more informed decisions at the end of the day. Another thing I always advise clients on with cover-ups, especially if you don't want to go bigger and you don't want to go darker, because a lot of people don't want that. So, obviously you have to keep that in mind and respect it, is to go for a few laser removal sessions. It's not the best option in terms of pain and money, I think, because it is insanely painful, apparently. It's apparently way worse than getting a tattoo. And my sister went for to get a tattoo removed, and she said she could like smell her skin burning.
Yes, my friend said the same.
Yeah, I think that experience is rough, and apparently you have to go for a lot of sessions as well. It's not
Correct.
just once and then it's lighter.
And the healing time is
Yeah.
a lot longer than what a tattoo takes, because it's literally like, I almost want to say, burning your skin off.
Yep.
And now it needs to heal, and that healing needs to fully heal,
And then go for
and
another
then you can go for another session. So we are looking. It's not like when you go for a tattoo, you can wait 2 weeks and you can come again. No.
Yep.
We are looking at like, you have to wait a month, maybe 2 months, depending on your body. And then you can go for another session.
Yeah.
And I mean, like you said, the pain is much more excruciating. I've also heard that, you know, my friend who did it, she actually said, you know what, I should have actually thought about doing a cover up instead.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Yeah.
because the pain was just so much more. And she had small, 3 little birds on her wrist here, and it wasn't big,
Yeah.
but it was insanely expensive.
Yeah.
And you know, I looked at it and I was like, I just would have kept it,
Yeah.
you know, kind of vibe, because there was nothing wrong with that tattoo. It was just obviously meaning that was attached to
Yeah.
it that she wanted to remove.
Wow. Okay.
But I mean, if it is, I think you want to do that so that it's lighter.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I always advise at least go for like 1 or 2 sessions just to see how light it goes. Sometimes it will lighten, obviously depending on the tattoo and your body as well. It might be different, but if you can just get it lighter at least, then the options for your cover up is a lot bigger. Oh, but I think that's something that people can keep in mind. If you don't want to go bigger and you don't want to go darker, then you know you're gonna have to go through all that pain
No.
and cost.
And I
of
think
the laser.
And I think that actually relates back to the point of where you are sitting in that chair. Speak up.
Yeah.
You know, don't wait until when you've reached home and now you're crying your heart out because it's not what you wanted. I think an important point that you made was being able to notify the tattoo artist that you're not happy.
Yeah.
You know, not just looking at it and saying, this is absolute shit. I am just going to leave it. I don't want to see them, hear from them, anything like that ever again.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But let them know.
Yeah.
Because they might think they are the shizners.
Yeah.
And they are walking around in life thinking, you know, I've got all of this covered in my life. And they don't.
Yeah.
And other people are going there.
Yeah.
And
Having the same experience. Having that tattoo, yeah.
also not saying anything. And there's no point in time where that artist can look and reflect and say,
And
oh
grow
crap,
and learn from it.
you know, I need to change something.
Yeah, definitely. I think, that's something I want to sort of hear from clients. Is just, if you are unhappy with a tattoo, do you ever let that client, that artist know? Also, you don't have to be an asshole about it.
Yeah.
But I sometimes wonder, I mean, I'm sure I've done tattoos where people weren't happy, especially in the beginning of my career and so on. And I would have loved to know, so that I can improve my skill. And it's just so they don't continue making not good tattoos.
Yes. No, but I mean, you want your name, your brand, your vibe that is on that person's body to represent who you are.
Yeah.
And I mean, fair enough. When you start out, obviously you are going to make mistakes, but that's a point of learning and growing as a tattoo artist.
And you as a client then also hopefully know this artist is a junior artist or apprentice or whatever. You know what level they are on, and based on that you made your decision. So if you know it's someone that's starting out, you know there might be issues, but it's people who maybe don't tell you that they don't have a lot of experience, and you think, it's amazing, you go get a tattoo, and then you're not happy. Then I think you should tell him.
But I also think Alex made a very good point earlier on when he said that if it is a junior tattoo artist, there must be somebody that's supervising.
Yeah.
And it's not about micromanagement. That's not what this is about. But it's just about having someone with more experience that actually comes in and say, oh, yes, like what you're doing here. Or, hey, listen, those line work, it needs a little bit more ink. Just that.
Yeah.
So that this tattoo artist that's still a junior can learn and grow in their own practice of what they're doing.
Yeah, definitely. But then also, hopefully you as the client know that they still need help and advice.
Yes.
Guidance. Yeah.
But I think that's why it's important going back to consultations.
Yeah.
Being in that position to understand who you are going to. You as the client, having done your research on who you are going to.
Yeah.
I think if you are going to somebody that's been in the industry for like 10, 20 years, very different situation. They're not going to have somebody that's going to come look over their shoulder.
Yeah.
But you also know from what you've seen what to expect.
Yeah.
And if that is not what you are experiencing, then you need to raise awareness to that.
Yeah, definitely.
And not be a keyboard hero afterwards
Yeah.
to break down something. It's about, at the end of the day, it's about getting that artist to also learn if they made a mistake, to be able to say, you know, Flip, I didn't know this, or, you know, thanks for bringing this to my attention, because now I can work on this to make sure for going forward that I don't make that mistake again.
Yeah, definitely. And I think especially if I think back on tattoos where I wasn't happy with how it healed, for instance, and then I know that was my side. Like, I feel like I didn't apply the tattoo well. And then clients would get back to me and tell me like, oh, it's healing like this and healing like that. And then I'm like, fuck, okay, I could see it's my fault. It's not something they did, whatever. Oh, and then I just know if I want to do a similar style on the next client, then I can tell them like, listen, I'm still learning the skill. So be a bit, you know, you can just tell your clients, be honest with them where you are at with that skill, with that specific style. And then they can make a decision, like, even if you tell them I'm still practicing this, they can then decide based on whatever they've seen your work before, if they're going to take that risk or not. I feel like that empowered me as an artist, where I could just say like, okay, I'm willing to do this, but I know it's not my strong suit, so you are going to have to come back for cover up. Oh, touch-ups. I cannot cover up. But yeah, then you can just inform your clients accordingly. Another story I quickly want to tell. I had a client this week with two cousins that came together, and they were super sweet. But during the consultation, so they wanted sort of matching tattoos.
Okay.
And sometimes it ends up that my consultations are, because I'm a bit booked in advance, my consultations are a while ago. Yeah. So I take notes and whatever. But because I think there was a miscommunication I thought they were getting exactly the same tattoo.
Okay.
Then when they got here, the one looked a bit confused. She was like, no, she wanted it in a circle, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, okay, shit, sorry, I obviously just misunderstood you. Let's quickly figure it out and change the design. And I was sitting with her and we were figuring it out, making changes, blah, blah, blah. And then she said to her cousin, oh, I can't believe I'm actually going to get the tattoo that I want. And I was like, what do you mean? Obviously you need to get the tattoo you want. I think she was scared that because I showed her those designs, she was scared that, oh, sorry, you're going to have to get it this way.
Yeah.
And I could sort of just sense this relief of like, oh, shit, she's willing to work with me and make changes. And it was so cute. But yeah, I think it is important for clients to know you should speak up. If there's anything that bothers you, it's anything that you're worried about, you have the right to say so, and make changes until you're happy. And any good artist will patiently sit with you and make those changes until you're happy. And I mean, I think we went through a lot of fonts. We changed the thing a few times. I think it took like half an hour, 45 minutes. But at the end of the day, she was happy, and it was a beautiful tattoo. And I think she was, I told them, like, thank you for being patient with me, because I like to have my designs like 100% ready when you get there. Cool. But then obviously there was a miscommunication or misunderstanding on my side. And I actually said, thank you for your patience, that you're willing to sit here with me and make the changes. And she was like, no, thank you for your patience. And then I just realized in the past, maybe some artists didn't have that patience with her. So a good artist will make changes and will reassure you, and hopefully do a good tattoo as well.
So for you as whether you're a tattoo artist listening to your clients or whether you are a client, speak up. Don't wait until it's too late. I mean, yes, a cover up is absolutely possible, but there are extras that comes
and there's ways to avoid getting a cover up.
So we hope that you don't have to get a cover up soon or anything. And we would love to hear your stories if you have any of a cover up that you might have needed to do or anything like that. But please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, the notify button, so that you can hear more from us and how we discuss different elements of what we are doing. And thank you so much for joining in. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
teddies and